could've sipped THC, lean with Pimp C. I'ma keep pouring up till every bottle empty. While I drive the boat to throw go, give me jaws. In the booth, venting, just admitting to my flaws. Up in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, me and my drink. Up in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, me and my drink.
Welcome to Hot Style Sundays. Y'all know what's going on. We down here at the Dream Factory. Man, we got LaBoca on deck. Man, we got Spliffy. We got everything you need down here. We got a special guest, fresh off the flight right now. My man JR Boomin. Man, what's going on?
I'm zoning, man. I appreciate y'all company, man. Just came in from Sacramento, California. Had to fuck with my dummies in Baltimore, man. Shout out to everyone, man. Shout out to Dream Factory. Shout out to LaBoca. Shout out to Spliffies. Shout out to Bippers. You know what I mean? I'm definitely trying to network and bridge culture gaps out here.
Okay. So for everybody that doesn't, they're not familiar with you, don't know what you do, what you about, let us know what you do, what you get into.
So I'm a rapper, but I wear different hats and shit. I went to school for mix engineering, so I do sounds for music, movies, games, podcasts, show production. Um, I'm a part of a brand called Go to Bed. It's a Sacramento, California based brand. We have a restaurant that's called Uptown Takeout, but we have Go to Bed clothes. I'm wearing the shirts right now. We do silk screen, we do embroidery, we do heat press. We got THC syrup, we got lemonade, non-medicated lemonade, CBD lemonade, shroom lemonade. Um, yeah, we got a studio. I'm one of the engineers in there. But right now, I kind of took a step back from being an engineer at the studio. I have a producer named Dilo. He's from Detroit. He's a part of this group called Legion Beats on BeatStars. So like I let him take the forefront of that shit because I want to learn from him for real. While I'm able to travel and shit, be an artist and be a brand ambassador for the brand. I really like promotion and marketing and shit. So I'm out here promoting.
Okay. I like that. Now, talk to us about like the music scene in Sacramento, California. Like, what's that like?
Um, the music scene in Sacramento is great, but if it's hood politics in Sacramento that holds people back. It holds the biggest artists from working with each other, so it's always going to be that. But there's a lot of dope artists out in Sacramento. I'm managing a female artist named Gritty Lex. She's definitely doing her thing. She's going crazy. And I'm also managing an artist named Germ Deezy. But Sacramento is different. Like, you never know what you'll really get. It's damn near like a melting pot, but Sacramento producers kind of like got that signature sound where you might hear lasers and shit in the beat, and like you'll hear the wah 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 wah, just that the bass and all that shit, man. There's a lot of dope shit that's in the Sacramento music scene. Sacramento artists, they're traveling, they're doing different shit, man. There's a lot of potential.
Okay. And now, how did you get your start? Like, with the whole music career? Like, how did that start for you?
Uh, I'm gonna do a quick background on myself. So, like, I was born in North Carolina, Rocky Mount, North Carolina, in the Raleigh Durham area. Uh, my dad's side of the family from North Carolina. My mom's side of the family from Baltimore. Uh, you know what I mean? I moved out here. I moved out to Edgewood, Maryland, in fourth grade and shit. That's where I started writing raps. I played the trumpet, poetry and shit. That's how I really started like music and shit. And over time, like my dad was in the army and shit, so I was always moving around. But over time, like I would just keep developing a love for music, like more and more and more, to the point where, man, I wanted to make it so bad I was falling for scams and shit with music, man. Like, little shit where you might think you about to get signed or whatever, and it's like once you like get burned, like, you know what I mean, like do some like music business shit, you like, damn, bro, I need to go learn the business and shit. So I moved to Orlando, Florida, where I went to Full Sail University for recording arts and shit, and got hip a little bit more on the music business side, so I'm not like doing bad business and shit like unawareingly, you know what I mean. So yeah, it's just after Orlando I was like, damn, it's cool out here. I love Orlando. It's a dope music scene out in Florida. They be doing their thing. And I moved around the time like Kodak Black started booming too. So it was a whole vibe for real, out in Orlando. I started like performing a lot. I would go down to South Florida here and there and perform. Like I performed in Miami and this other city called Port St. Lucie. But long story short, I ended up graduate. I was about to graduate from Full Sail, and I'm like, damn, how am I supposed to take off after going to college and shit? And I'm just like, I can't have all my resources on the east and in the south and shit, and all the people that I know, their resources on the east and the south. So I was like, man, I gotta go to Cali and shit. Cause if I can make this shit happen in Cali and I can bridge shit, then nobody's gonna be out of towners, no matter where you at and shit. Everyone can just go to different towns. They don't gotta be puzzled and shit. Like, hey, just tap in, like, you know what I mean? So, this music shit definitely has been a journey though. It's been something that I've been trying to put together. I'm still putting together. I'm still developing my sound. I'm still, building relationships every day. I'm just, trying to tighten up every day.
Okay, okay. Now, what like I'm gonna have you take it back a little bit for us. What was it like growing up as a kid, like in Sacramento? Like, what was that? Like, what you say you grew up in North Carolina, right?
Man, my dad was in the army, so
Okay, okay.
it's like I look at it like this: I'm either from everywhere or
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
from nowhere.
Okay.
I was had basically elementary school and like the first part of middle school in Edgewood, Maryland. Then after that, I had the rest of middle school and a little bit of high school in Germany. And after
See,
that, I would move to Colorado for my upper like classmen years in high school and shit. Then after that, I tried to go to, I tried to like this shit out with a community college. Like my mom was like, she was one of my like, you gotta go to college after you graduate. So like she forced me to go to community college, and I ended up dropping out of that shit because the fast food wasn't working out, and I couldn't even have no books. So I'm going to class, I can't even do the homework and shit. So I ended up dropping out, and what I mean, I started like trying to make shit happen, but like I was, I had my head cut off trying to make moves and shit. So my people was like helped me to get the Full Sail University in Orlando and shit. You know what I mean? Like, but as a kid and shit, I was I was just I really love football for real. You know what I mean? Tackle football and shit. It was cool, but I seen sports politics way too early and shit. So I was just like, damn, I ain't even impressed about going to college for sports anymore, man. That shit got its ending already. I see that shit.
okay. And now being from like so many different places, and also taking your music different places too. Like, what would you say is like the difficult part you see with with you trying to put your music out there in these different areas?
Man, I think I don't know. I guess like the difficult part is like I'm always having to start over. So it's
Okay.
like I could like build in one spot and I have to leave and then build in another spot and leave. So what I mean? That's something that I definitely see a lot and shit. Yeah, just always having to start over and shit. But I do use that shit to my advantage though, because I still like keep in touch with people that I need to keep in touch with, and I just as I get bigger and bigger, I try to like bridge the gaps, double back, in places and shit, see like how I can like make a better impression into the market so I can have more business partners, the right business partners.
Right, right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
And talking about business, I want you to drop some products here today. I know you do a bunch of stuff, but explain these products to us, break them down to us. Tell us what got you started with this and why that, the business part is so important to you.
So go to bed. That's the name of this product. is is really it really started from the big homie Carlos out in Sacramento and shit. He's really coming from the graffiti culture and shit. So he went from doing graffiti to doing fashion and shit. And with the fashion, he would land like some cool placements. Like he would have Brooke Valentine wear it on when it was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. He's had Ashanti wear a shirt or two. But then it ended up turning into THC syrup. You know what I mean? We're working on our rec deal right now. We got some people that's interested in being our partners, but we're working on making our rec deal. So before like before like one day the big homie was like, man, we not going rec yet. So he wanted to still push the brand, and I had came to him and I was like, hey, I want to have a flavor named Boomin' Blue Raspberry. You know what I mean? I love blue raspberry. I used to go to Anien's like and get the blue raspberry lemonade and shit, but just blue raspberry lemonade in general is just booming. So he was just like, well, before we go rec, let's push the lemonade non-medicated, and then we ended up making the CBD lemonade. Both of it sold in Uptown Takeout in Sacramento. It's in North Sacramento. That's where they sell tri-tip, they sell teriyaki bowl, they sell tacos and shit. They got different snacks, all that, man. We really we sell merch in there too. And connected to it is a big patio where we'll throw big events. That's we had some big events partnering with California Live where they've brought out like Rob Banks and Big Bang Bands, and then some other artists that's popular in California like Lil Bean and Zay Bang and Lil Peep and Lil Yee. And recently we had the Hyphy tour, which was Mr. Fab, Keek the Sneak, and D-Lo. It was great turnouts and shit. But it's Uptown Takeout. People in Sacramento know that that's a spot where up and coming artists can start. You know what I mean? There's been open mics and shit. There's artists that'll throw their own like release events and shit like that. There's a lot that be going on, man.
Seems
But
like the networking out there is really there's a lot of opportunity out there.
yeah, it is, man. I mean, we've been legal like a motherfucker out there and shit. So people doing their thing out there for real, for real. It's just hella creative and shit. Like people just on the entrepreneur side and shit. It's like after you got your trap. It's like after you got your drugs and shit, all that. It's like what you gonna do with it? Like you gotta market that shit. Like you gotta market whatever products you got. So yeah, it's like I got my stickers made and shit. I got my logo on there and shit. I even had like booming shirts and shit. I'm really trying to working on a booming blue raspberry shirt and shit. And like once I make like booming blue raspberry shirts, like joggers, all that shit, I want to do a whole photo shoot where like the room is like blue and shit. Just, you know what I mean? Just go crazy with this shit.
I like that. I like that. Now, talk to us about, I know you manage some artists too, you mentioned. What's that like and how'd you get started with that?
You said what?
You got some artists that you manage, right?
Yeah,
Yes. How'd you get started with that and like what's that part of the music side like?
man. It's funny because people always said that like I'd be a manager and shit. And I was just like, yeah, that's cool, but that's a lot of work and shit. But long story short, at the Rob Banks show that we had at Uptown Takeout, I seen I seen this female named Gritty Lex that I've been following and shit. Like, cause when I moved out to Sacramento, I ended up getting a feature from Nepta Pharaoh,
Okay.
which is an artist that used to be signed with E40, but he's a Vallejo artist. He's a popular Bay Area artist and shit. So I ended up getting that feature and shit because I had a homie that's rapping now named T Money. Shout my nigga Dre. But he was tapped in with Nepta Pharaoh's manager at the time, Teflon Twan, little brother, Band Life Fonz, Free P. He's a popular rapper in the Bay Area and shit. But I was just in tune with what Nepta Pharaoh was doing, and Nepta Pharaoh had a tour where Gritty Lex was on the tour with him and shit. So he came to Sacramento and his people's got a spot next to my people's spot. So I pulled up to the pop up, you know what I mean? Gave him some product and shit. Just wanted to like, show love and shit. But there I met Gritty Legs. That was my first time encountering her. Then after that, we ended up having the Rob Banks show at Uptown Takeout and ended up seeing her there. I was already trying to do an interview with her because at the time I had a media platform called Rap Picasso Media that I was working with this dude and this videographer named John out in South Florida, but we was lining that shit up. We was going to do the interview, so she was ready to do the interview the next day. And after that, like we just started kicking it and shit. We started networking, just getting to know each other, and she ended up saying that she wanted me to be her manager, so that's what I ended up doing. Like, just made it work. It's something that like I'm still learning though, because I'm not really a manager. It's like I'm a manager, but I didn't see myself becoming this at all. So I definitely have my hiccups. I see my weaknesses for sure, but I definitely have some strong suits that's championship worthy. I'm trying to go on some streaks, some winning streaks with anyone that I come across, but I'm not trying to just manage everybody. I manage Germ Deezy because that's really the homie. Like he's somebody that I was seeing do his thing in the city, like, and then I would see both of them. They did open up for Shorty in Chico, California. I seen that show. I was like, damn, okay. Both of these artists that I don't even know yet is making moves. I ended up meeting both of them on different accords, and you know what I mean. I'm definitely like building a championship team, like whether they stay or not. Like if they end up going to something that's a better situation for them, I'd be happy for them because I'm not no greedy nigga. I really love the culture, the art and shit. You know.
I like that. I like that. And now, like with everything you got going on, what would you say is like your overall goal? Like, what do you hope to achieve from all this? Is it the music? Is it the business? Is it everything? Like, what are you looking for?
I want to make great music while doing great business. So I want to be able to have a great catalog when I'm looking, down, I'm in the future and shit, just looking back. I want a dope ass catalog that is timeless music, no matter what type of style it is. You know what I mean? Because there's always the arguments about old school and the new ways and shit. I feel like that shit is always gonna be an argument as like people get older and shit. There's always gonna be younger rappers that got a new style that people not always gonna agree with.
Okay, I like that. I like that. If you had one piece of advice, you could tell to a upcoming artist, what would you tell them? They look at, they see what you're doing, they see what, you got these products, you got this music out now, you're, you know how to engineer, you're doing, following your dream. Like, what would you tell these
I would tell them stay disciplined because we all have a lot of dreams and we all have a lot of wants. But how are we really gonna obtain like that end goal? You know what I mean? Like we have to like hold ourselves accountable of where we're lacking at or where we're falling short at. You know what I mean? Just tighten up. Like every day I try to like make up for yesterday and shit. Like I gotta be better every day. You know what I mean? Like, there's always somebody else that's working harder than me. You know what I mean? Hard work always beats talent. So like staying disciplined, you know what I mean? It's showing that you build a routine and shit. You build muscle memory and shit to go get it, man, the right way. Like hustle smarter and harder.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Now, talk to us. I know you got some projects coming up. You got anything we should be already looking at, but tell us, you got anything coming up we should be looking forward to.
Um, I'm dropping zone mode soon at the end of the year. Y'all can still run up TAC syrup on iTunes, Spotify, all that shit. But I got zone mode. I got this group project that I'm dropping with the brand Go to Bed. We don't got a album title for it yet, but we working on that shit. I got a tape coming with Turtle Baby. It's called Trap Boomin. That's gonna be dropping damn near any day. We just keep adding more songs and shit. We always in the studio just adding more shit, trying to see what song works and shit. So I'm gonna give y'all a update on that shit real soon. But yeah, man, just there's hella shit to look out for. Pretty Lex about to drop an album. Germ Deezy about to drop an album. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be dropping some new music videos too.
Okay. It's all about the visuals too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, man. Any last words? Any shout outs? Anything else you want to say?
Um, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to Dream Factory, man. I appreciate y'all having the interview with me and shit. Shout out LaBoca, shout out Spliffy, shout out Go to Bed. We gonna keep making shit happen from Sacramento to the world. Um, shout out Gritty Lex, shout out Germ Deezy, shout out God, of course, man. Shout out my mom and my dad. Shout out BRM Stunning. Shout out KFN Buck. Shout out Swift. Shout out Success Addiction. Shout out Trill Major. Shout out Baltimore Bella. Um, man, shout out everybody that's really on their grind doing their thing, man. Like, I'm really trying to bridge the culture, man, everywhere, man. Everyone has like different backgrounds. And everybody has different perspectives and shit, and different styles that they came up with, man. I'm just trying to get everyone together, man, so we can do like worldwide tours, or at least country, nationwide tour. Like, but really worldwide, man. We should be able to think big and do big.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I like that. I like that. Man, it's JR Boomin down here. Down here, he came first from his flight. Didn't even check the hotel yet.
No bullshit.
Man, down here at the Dream Factory, exclusive Lounge Studios. I appreciate you, man, pulling up on us.
It's good.
You got La Boca, Spliffy Bippers. Get your pre-flight gummies. You know what's going on. Appreciate y'all. Y'all see you got the tea. Get your syrup. Tap in with JR Boomin. That's JR Boomin everywhere on Instagram, right?
Yeah, J.R. Boomin on Instagram.
Yeah, here, go check him out. Appreciate you once again, man.
Yo, it's good.
Wish I could've sipped THC, lean with Pimp C. I'ma keep pouring up till every bottle empty. While I try to bow the throat, go give me jaws. In the booth, venting, just admitting to my flaws. Up in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, me and my drink. Up in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, me and my drink.